Today's lesson will work on our upper intermediate course, and here Unit 3, fourth part 3.4, speaking and writing. And our goals here are say how likely something is going to happen and write a balanced opinion essay. Speaking and listening, saying how likely something is to happen. Exercise 1. Work with a partner, read the predictions and discuss how likely you think it is that these things will happen. And now, if you have finished, let's look at the possible answers. People won't go on holiday anymore but will enjoy virtual reality holidays where they feel as if they are on holiday but are actually staying at home. I completely agree with it because now we have our VR headsets and they can give us now the visual and auditory experiences, but in the future it will develop more and we'll have sensory experiences too, and we will just feel every single touch, every single taste, every single smell that we're gonna get from the environment that we're going, or we can just have any experience that is not even real. So people will be more inclined to feel this experience at home, like in comfort. It's gonna be financially viable too. It's gonna be financially cheaper. So that's the reason why I completely agree with this opinion. When you go out for a meal, the restaurant will print out ice cream or pizza using a special 3D food printer. I don't agree with it because there are different sizes, different shapes, and I don't think that 3D printers will be able to adjust to these things. Maybe if it's one shape, one size, and only one texture, it can happen, but I'm not sure about it. I'm not an expert in this field. That's why I cannot give a clear answer. So I will just say low probability, but it is possible. Because they use so much technology in their work lives, people will stop using technology to relax and instead learn old-fashioned skills such as gardening. I don't agree with this opinion at all because technology is way better than our real life. So we're just already fixed our phones for more than 10 hours a day. So I don't think that it's going away, and we'll be more and more connected to technology in the coming future. Exercise 2A. Listen to two friends, George and Abby, discussing the predictions in exercise 1. Write their initials next to a phrase below if they express an opinion on how likely it is to happen. And here, virtual reality holidays, printed food in restaurants, and technology-free leisure.
Audio 3.8.
So, what do you think about the first one?
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. After all, we can't all keep flying to places all the time, can we? The planet would get so polluted.
Well, you may be right about that, but I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday. I expect they'll just travel more within their own countries.
I don't like the sound of a printed meal much, do you? But I think it's bound to happen. In fact, I think they're already developing the technology.
Really? There's no chance of me eating something like that.
And what about the last one?
Oh, that's sure to happen. People will get fed up with being in front of a screen all the time.
Well, yes, I suppose it might happen.
And now, if you have finished, let's look at the possible answers. And when regarding virtual reality holidays, George thinks it will probably happen. Well, it probably will happen. And Evie thinks it probably won't happen. And regarding printed food in restaurants, George thinks it definitely will happen. And when it comes to technology-free leisure, Evie thinks it will definitely happen. It definitely will happen. And George thinks it possibly will happen. Exercise 2B. Listen again and complete extracts 1 to 7 from George and Evie's discussion. Pause the video, fill the gaps on your own in a written form.
Audio 3.8.
So, what do you think about the first one?
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. After all, we can't all keep flying to places all the time, can we? The planet would get so polluted.
Well, you may be right about that, but I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday. I expect they'll just travel more within their own countries.
I don't like the sound of a printed meal much, do you? But I think it's bound to happen. In fact, I think they're already developing the technology.
Really? There's no chance of me eating something like that.
And what about the last one?
Oh, that's sure to happen. People will get fed up with being in front of a screen all the time.
Well, yes, I suppose it might happen.
And now, if you have finished, let's look at the possible answers together. 1. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. 2. I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday. 3. I expect they will just travel more within their own countries. 4. I think it's bound to happen. 5. There's no chance of me eating something like that. 6. Oh, that's sure to happen. 7. Well, yes, I suppose it might happen. Exercise 2C. Complete the language for speaking box with the phrases in exercise 2B. And now, if you have finished, let's look at the possible answers. Language for speaking. Likelihood. Definitely won't happen. There's no chance of me eating something like that. Probably won't happen. I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday. Possibly will happen. Well, yes, I suppose it might happen. Probably will happen. It is D and E. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I expect they will just travel more within their own countries. And definitely will happen. I think it's bound to happen. Oh, that's sure to happen. Pronunciation, intonation, and here we learn how to express certainty and use intonation. Exercise 3A. Listen to the phrases from exercise 2B. Does the intonation make the speaker sound certain or uncertain?
Audio 3.9. 1,
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
2,
I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday.
3,
I expect they'll just travel more within their own countries.
4,
I think it's bound to happen.
5,
There's no chance of me eating something like that.
6,
Oh, that's sure to happen.
7,
Well, yes, I suppose it might happen.
And now, if you have finished, let's check the answers together. 1. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. It's certain. I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday. It's uncertain. I expect they will just travel more with their own countries. Within their own country, it's certain. I think it's bound to happen. It's certain. 5. There's no chance of me eating something like that. It's certain. Oh, that's sure to happen. It's certain. Well, yes, I suppose it might happen. It's uncertain. Exercise 3B. Listen again and repeat, paying attention to the intonation in order to improve your level of pronunciation.
Audio 3.9. 1,
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
2,
I still doubt people would be satisfied with a virtual holiday.
3,
I expect they'll just travel more within their own countries.
4,
I think it's bound to happen.
5,
There's no chance of me eating something like that.
6,
Oh, that's sure to happen.
7,
Well, yes, I suppose it might happen.
Exercise 4A. Task. Make at least one prediction about each of the following areas. 1. Transport, home entertainment, communication, housing, and food. Pause the video, answer the questions in a written form. Well, now if you have faced, let's check the possible answers. Well, when it comes to transportation, we are definitely going to have fully self-driving cars, fully autonomous cars that people will not need to drive cars, or people will not be allowed to drive cars. When it comes to home entertainment, there will be some kind of personal assistant, home assistant, smart houses that will do whatever we want them to do. When it comes to communication, we're probably are going to speak using or not speak, we're going to communicate without speaking using our Neuralink chips in our head. Housing, people are going to opt for houses in the countryside as the travel will be less and less necessary. And food, we're probably going to grow our own food, and we're going to have our self-sustained families, self-sustained communities within our area. Exercise 4B. Work with a partner, share your predictions, respond to each other's predictions using the phrases "is the language for speaking" box. Reading and writing. A balanced opinion essay. Exercise 5. Look at the following essay question. Work with a partner and make a list of 2-3 arguments or examples to support each view. And here, some people believe that in the future, we will have more and more leisure time as computers that replace many of the tasks we do at home and work. Others believe that we will have less leisure time as employers will expect us to be available and connected to the internet all the time. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Pause the video and answer the question in a written form. And now let's look at the possible answers. Well, we are going to have more leisure time as computers replace many of the tasks. It's happening now because, for example, before we used to do a lot of chores, washing dishes, cleaning, sweeping. Now we have vacuum cleaners, dishwashers. We have a lot of appliances at home and at work actually, because before we had to copy things by hand, but now we have photocopiers, or we had to do our Excel spreadsheets ourselves. But now there are a lot of automatic templates that we have, and others believe that we have less leisure time. I also agree with this point because now we have to be interconnected. We have to do things in an instantly within seconds or minutes. So we have to be connected to the internet so that we will have our efficiency back. And employers will expect us to be available all the time because if we are not available all the time, we're going to lose our business. Exercise 6A. Read the essay. How many of your arguments are mentioned in the text? Exercise 6B. Read the essay again and match paragraphs 1 to 5 to sections A to E. And now if you have finished, let's check the answers together. 1 is B, introduction in your own words. 2 is C, arguments to support the first belief. And 3 is A, arguments to support the second belief. And 4 is D, your opinion. And 5 is E, is conclusion. Exercise 7. Add the phrases in the bold in the essay to the language for writing box. Now, if you have finished, let's check the answers together. Language for writing. Writing a balanced opinion essay. Introduction. Without a doubt, in recent years, these days, giving both sides of the argument. Some people argue that. Others feel, however, that. Giving extra details of examples. For instance, such as in addition, in fact, additionally, moreover. Giving your own opinion. Personally, in my opinion, introducing the conclusion, to conclude and to sum up, and in conclusion. Exercise 8A. Task. You're going to write an essay. Look at the following essay question and plan out what you're going to write in the style of the 5 paragraphs given in exercise 6A. Try to think of a main idea and some supporting information or examples for each paragraph. Write your essay in about 250 words, and here the topic is: in recent years, the number of people traveling by air for business and pleasure has increased dramatically. Some people believe that air travel will continue to grow and it will become easier, faster, and cheaper. Others, however, believe that due to environmental pressures, flying is likely to become too expensive for most people. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. Pause the video and do this exercise in a written form. Exercise 8b, work with a partner, read your partner's essay and comment on the following things. And here following criteria are: 1. Content, did they have some good ideas for both sides of the argument? 2. Organization, did they follow the structure given? 3. Language, did they use some of the phrases in bold from the essay? That's it for today's lesson. See you in the next lessons.